Hello everybody and welcome back to Bring Your Own Popcorn, and welcome to a very special video. And this is a very special video because it is my 100th video here on the Bring Your Own Popcorn channel. I am so unbelievably happy that I've reached 100 videos finally on this channel. It's taken us a while. It's taken us, I think I started the channel kind of early 2021 and now we're early 2024, so 3 years to get 100 videos, but I'm so proud that I am now at 100 videos on the channel, and here's to 100 more. So I decided for my 100th video special that I would do something a little bit different on the channel, a little bit unique. So I decided to ask some fellow movie YouTubers, some friends, and even one family member to come on and answer a question for me. And that question is, what is the best movie blockbuster? What is the best popcorn munching movie? So I sent out that question to as many people as I could, and I got a lot of responses, and you'll be seeing all of them in this video. But I thought I would start things off by talking about one of my favourite blockbusters. And one of my favourite blockbusters is Die Hard. I absolutely adore Die Hard. If you just want pure adrenaline-fueled action, this is the film for you. I think it's quite possibly the greatest action film ever made. In terms of pure action spectacle, I don't think it gets much better than Die Hard. The dialogue is just perfect. It's not too cheesy, but just cheesy enough in that beautiful 80s cheesy way. All the performances are terrific, from Bruce Willis, this being his best role, in my opinion, his best ever performance. He's just absolutely incredible here. To Alan Rickman, who plays one of the greatest movie villains of all time in Hans Gruber. And in terms of blockbuster, it doesn't get much better than Die Hard. I think this is one of the films that defines the term blockbuster. It's just action, action, action from the word go. And John McTiernan, who directed this film, done a beautiful job with directing all the action sequences. They are fantastic. He uses a lot of practical effects, and the fight scenes are just filmed exceptionally. And to have a film that is pretty much completely set in this one building and have it stay engaging throughout and entertaining throughout is something to behold, quite honestly. So yeah, one of my favourite blockbusters of all time, Die Hard. Now, I'll be coming in and out of this video as we go, giving you a few other of my favourite blockbusters, but for now, let's hear from some other people.
Hey, it's me, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer from the Movie Cheer podcast, and I have been invited by Jack from Bring Your Own Popcorn to share my favourite blockbuster movie in celebration of the 100th episode on the Bring Your Own Popcorn YouTube channel, which is absolutely awesome. Well done, Jack, and thank you for having me on as well. So I'm just going to, before I give you my number one blockbuster movie, I'm going to give you two honourable mentions, and I've got them here. So I've got, first of all, I'm going to do this quick. Star Wars The Force Awakens. Is it my favourite Star Wars movie? No. But I will say, watching this at the cinema was amazing. It was just a superb movie to watch. The excitement was amazing. The build-up, you know, when it first came on, it was unbelievable. I loved it, the wait, and it was well worth it. I really enjoyed this movie, The Force Awakens. Second one has to go to Captain America Civil War, a second honourable mention. I just think it's like a mini Avengers movie. It's such a great film. It's basically the whole Avengers cast, pretty much. Captain America versus Iron Man. Them two teams going up against each other in an Avengers Civil War. I think it's a really well-made movie. There's some great scenes in this as well. But my main one has to go to my favourite blockbuster of all time. You know, it's hard to pick one, isn't it, really, with blockbusters, as we're all movie fans. But for me, I always go back to this one as one of my favourites, just for the cinema experience and the movie as a whole, and that is The Dark Knight. I remember watching this at the cinema. You know, it was, for me, I think when people say, you know, they remember watching Star Wars as a kid at the cinema, I feel like this is, for me, what that is, that sort of movie, you know, like when you say you watch Star Wars as a kid. Mine is The Dark Knight. I remember watching this and just really being amazed by it. And, you know, I can remember going to the cinema that day, enjoying that experience and coming out and just being like, wow. I remember that experience coming out of the cinema just being like, wow, this is such an unbelievable movie. Such a different movie at the time from what Marvel was doing with the superhero movies. The Dark Knight, still one of my favourite trilogies. I don't think it's a solid trilogy throughout. I think the third one dips a bit. The second one and the first one are definitely my favourites, but it's still pretty good to watch. But this one is just such a great movie. It's like the first one and the second one I can just enjoy as single movies. But yeah, The Dark Knight is definitely my favourite blockbuster movie. But yeah, thank you very much to Jack for having me on this special episode. Here's to another 100 episodes of Bring Your Own Popcorn. Thank you for having me on, and I'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, I'm Mike, or Mike's Reviews and Analysis, as some of you may know me as, and Jack, or Bring Your Own Popcorn, has invited me to join in for this awesome collab for his 100th video here on YouTube. So happy to be on here, and thank you so much for allowing me to join in, Jack. Really is a pleasure being on here, and go subscribe to him, as always, if you aren't subscribed to him already. But, what is my favorite blockbuster of all time? It's not a dead giveaway for me. There is some competition, but I think without a doubt, one that I would not be mad about saying this in the future. Mission Impossible Fallout is my favorite blockbuster of all time. I think that it is a perfect action movie. Tom Cruise is a devil to be reckoned with, man. He is such a crazy dude, and what he does in this movie is incredible. Action sequences are fantastic. Henry Cavill is an amazing villain. Christopher McQuarrie, his direction is fantastic. And fun fact about the movie, Tom Cruise broke his ankle in a shot, and the shot is still in the movie. So it just goes to show how much work ethic this guy has for making movies. So, thank you to Jack again for having me here on his channel, and please subscribe to him if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you for having me on as always, man.
Hello, this is my response to Jack's question regarding my favourite blockbuster for his 100th video. I would just like to say first, congratulations Jack, you're smashing it. Your channel is brilliant. You're going places definitely, mate. So congratulations first of all. So let me start with my honourable mentions. My first honourable mention is Jurassic Park. You know, Steven Spielberg, dinosaurs, what's not to love, amazing practical effects, stacked cast, incredible music as well by John Williams. It's just like very watchable as well. What's not to love at the end of the day. Amazing film. My second honourable mention is Top Gun Maverick, which came out 2 years ago. It's 2024 now. And Tom Cruise, brilliant in the role. Once again, tops the first one by miles for me. Beautiful cinematography, great acting, stunt work is stupendous. Yeah, it's just a great blockbuster. It's a great summer blockbuster. And my top pick is the first Star Wars film, 1977. Outstanding film, iconic, legendary. George Lucas is an absolute god in the film industry, in my opinion. I know he gets a lot of backlash for what he did with the prequels, but I love Star Wars, so, and especially what George Lucas directed and what he did, what he was in control of, especially. So yeah, that was my answer to you, Jack. Once again, congratulations, mate. You're smashing it, and yeah, I look forward to more of your videos.
So thank you to the Movie Cheer podcast, Mike's Reviews and Analysis, and Alex Hampton for giving us their favourite blockbusters right there. And now let's talk about another one of my favourite blockbusters of all time. One that I was surprised that no one mentioned. I was really expecting this one to come up quite a bit. And because no one mentioned it, I had to take it. And that is the first Back to the Future movie. I mean, just in terms of sheer joy and sheer happiness whilst watching a movie, I haven't really experienced anything that gave me the level of happiness that Back to the Future does. It is just a perfect movie, in my opinion. It's got everything that you want a movie to be. From the insanely likeable characters of Marty McFly and Doc Brown, who are just two of the best characters ever put to screen, in my opinion, To the sheer brilliance of the plot, I think this is one of the best scripts ever written, in my opinion. I think it is just an absolute joy. It's just fantastic. And the direction, mwah, Robert Zemeckis, he does a fantastic job with this film. He's just an insane director, but I think this is probably his best. And the effects, for this film coming out in 1985, I don't think the effects have actually aged that badly. I think they are pretty fantastic. So yeah, one of my favourite blockbusters here in Back to the Future, and let's hear from another few people.
Hello everyone, how's it all going? Scott, a movie critic here, and I just wanted to quickly say massive thank you to Jack for letting me be a part of this video and asking me to take part in this incredible wonder video of yours. I really do appreciate it, mate, and it's an honour to do this video for you. But he's asked us to pick one of our favourite blockbusters of all time and talk about it for a couple of minutes or so. And my favourite blockbuster is easily Rocky 3. Yeah, my favourite Rocky film in the Rocky series. I'm such a massive fan of the series. It's my favourite movie series of all time. And yeah, everything about this is just great. Obviously, the soundtrack with Eye of the Tiger is just absolutely epic. Mr. T as Clubber Lang is one of my favourite film villains of all time. And it just has such a great epic training montage scene. There's so many great scenes in this film, but obviously the argument that he has with Adrian is one of the best scenes of the film as well. The scene where he gets really emotional over Mickey's death is so upsetting as well. That's a really powerful scene of the film, and yeah, just such an upsetting moment there. And of course, Apollo Creed and Rocky becoming friends to train for the big fight at the end with Clubber Lang, which is one of the greatest fight scenes of all time. I absolutely love it. It's absolutely incredible. And yeah, it's just one of my favourite films ever. I absolutely adore it. So there we have it, everyone. There is my favourite blockbuster of all time. And again, thank you so much, Jags, for letting me take part in this video. Really do appreciate it, mate. And I hope this video does really well for you. But yeah, that about do it for this video, everyone. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you all later.
Hello there, it's Jake from Jake on Film, as always, exploring the outer edges of the film universe, and I'm helping out my good man from Bring Your Own Popcorn. And he wants me to tell you about the greatest blockbuster ever made. Well, it's obviously Gladiator. This is Ridley Scott at his bombastic best, telling the story of a brilliant character in Maximus Decimus Meridius, and certainly Russell Crowe's finest hour. All the action's brilliant. We get the fight against sort of the German barbarians at the start. All the different fights in the Colosseum on chariots. We get tigers and fighting all the different types of gladiators, which is brilliant. The score is fantastic by Hans Zimmer. It's booming out as they fight and ride on horses. And then, of course, the elegiac Lisa Gerrard with the haunting theme, which takes our man Maximus all the way to Elysium, and that's really foreshadowed at the start, where you see his hand on the corn, so you know his destiny is always going to be to end up there, which is great. I also like the fact that the story, you think it's quite predictable. He's obviously just gonna his plan is gonna come to fruition. He's gonna break out being a gladiator and rebel, but it doesn't. It gets stopped, and everyone gets killed, including himself. Spoiler alert, you should have watched it. It's 23 years ago, but still becomes a hero in death. So it's an absolute banger, absolute classic. Prefer the extended cut, 3 hours long, goes by in an instant. Ridley Scott should stop making films, really, because he's made the best one there, and it's simple as that. Thanks. This has been Jake on Film. I'll see you soon.
Hi, Jack. Hope you're doing well. So my favourite blockbuster of all time would have to be The Shawshank Redemption, which is also my second favourite film of all time. Reason being for this is because I just absolutely love the story to this film, obviously based off a Stephen King novel, which I do plan on reading like one day down the line. it is just brilliant. The acting is just outstanding. You know, you've got powerhouse acting from Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, who have one of like the probably, maybe, perhaps, in my opinion, the best ever friendship put to film, in my opinion, even though there are some great well put together friendships when it comes to like film. And I just think this film has some really heartfelt messages in there, some very important messages too. I think the score from Thomas Newman is absolutely sensational. You know, and this is from the same director of The Green Mile, which come out 5 years after Shawshank. This director's made two of the greatest films ever, and both prison based films as well, and both based off Stephen King novels as well. I love the ending to like, obviously, you know, like that, how like both Andy and Red and both, they obviously like the kind of like their like the both the characters' endings, and how it's and how their endings to the film is intertwined. It's marvelous. It is absolutely incredible. There is some quite shocking scenes like earlier on in the film as well. Of course the main antagonist as well, is it the warden, like, you know, you absolutely detest this character and some of the rash decisions he's made. So it is my second favourite film of all time. I absolutely love this. So congrats on your 100th video, Jack. You've got an amazing channel, my friend. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, bud. And yeah, take care.
So thank you to Scott the Movie Critic, Jake on Film and Sammy G for their amazing contributions right there. And now it's time for another one of my favourite blockbusters, and that is Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first in the Indiana Jones franchise. Which is what I think to be the greatest adventure film ever made. This film is just absolutely fantastic. In terms of blockbuster, you don't get much better than Indiana Jones, and Raiders is my personal favourite of the Indiana Jones franchise. Harrison Ford is just excellent in this film. He's a brilliant leading man, incredibly charismatic, and I personally think, whilst I do love Han Solo, I think my favourite Harrison Ford character is Indiana Jones. I just absolutely adore every single aspect of this film, from Spielberg's incredible direction, in which he uses a lot of practical effects, and especially towards the end, the practical effects managed to add to some of the horror aspects of this film very well. It's just an absolute joy of a film to watch. I love films where a bit of history comes into it, and because he's an archaeologist, throughout all these movies, a bit of history gets taught to you, gets taught to the audience, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, there's another one of my favourite blockbusters, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, let's hear from some other people.
So firstly, congratulations on 100 episodes. Bring your own popcorn. Fantastic, superb. And let's talk about my favourite film. My favourite film of all time. I've cited this on my channel many a time, even though I've never actually done a top 10 movies or anything like that of all time. My favourite top 10s. But number one, I always cite as being Steven Spielberg's 1975 classic Jaws. Now this film here, it came out a year before my birth, but I grew up on this film and I remember I would come home from school and it was either watching this or watching the original Star Wars film. And then by the time we got to the mid-80s, Back to the Future was thrown into that as well. It was those three films being thrown around, bandied about. But Jaws from 1975, this film holds a special place, not just in my heart, but in history. This is the film that coined the term blockbuster. This opened the doors to the summer event movie, even though now it seems to be all year round event movies. But yeah, this was the film that started it. If it wasn't for this movie, we probably wouldn't have a lot of films that we have today. Now, I'm a big fan of creature features, of animals go rogue, and there's an inherent fascination, psychological fascination, that we have in Jaws, in the sea, in the unknown. By Jaws I meant sharks. And this film just does it for me. The culmination of the trio, the three R's, Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, bouncing off of one another. Just fantastic. And this film here has it all. The rubber shark, Bruce the Shark, I don't care. I don't care that the shark looks fake. The shark looks fantastic. So much so, in fact, someone has said to me, would you like a version where the shark was CGI'd? I said no, because you take away what you've already got. And the shark in this is as much a main star, a character, as those three actors that helped bring this film to life. This film deserves to be number one on my list, my favourite film of all time. Now, over the years, yes, it has changed. That list, this film has dropped off of that number one spot, because what is number one for right now? But as I got older, I came to realise that actually this film deserves to be plotted in that number one segment. It's a fascinating movie. It does everything right. It's a near perfect movie, and it cemented Steven Spielberg as one of the best directors of all time, without a doubt. This film, for me, will live on as, I don't think it won't ever get knocked off of that top spot as my favourite film of all time. Thank you for watching, and again, congratulations on 100 episodes.
Thank you, Jack, for asking me to be in this collaboration video. Very exciting when I got your message for your favourite blockbuster film. Gosh, this took me a while to think about. I mean, there's been so many in recent years, and ones that I've seen growing up at the cinema, and then more recent ones, but what took the cake? So I've got 3 picks. I'm going to do a couple of honourable mentions. Honourable mention is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, along with the others, really, but that was the last one, obviously, that finished it all off. I have fond memories of seeing it at the cinema when that was 13 years ago now. Crazy, but that was one of my all-time favorite franchises, and what a great way to cap that off. In third position, I have got The Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt. I think that was a really unique take on our Groundhog Day element of storytelling. The repetition of the same events, and how they did that with the sci-fi engineer. It was really, really great, and obviously Tom Cruise, he might crop up again here. My second pick would be Avengers Endgame. Nothing can really compare with the experience of opening night of that film in the cinema. It was unlike anything, packed, the reactions, the scenes of what happened, it was just there to be just enthralled, the build-up that had, and it really paid off, the events that took place, and just how amazing it all was. My number one pick is Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was a surprise, a really big surprise after all those years since the original. Again, Tom Cruise, Glenn Powell, Miles Teller. It was just insane. And being there, seeing it in IMAX, it was really special for my first viewing. And that last act was just, I hadn't seen anything like that in terms of edge of the seat, nail-biting suspense and action. It was just enthralling, honestly. And I forgot to mention the Mission Impossible films. I wanted to give a special mention to them. Again, Tom Cruise. But the experience of Dead Reckoning this year, and then Fallout before, these films just keep upping the ante each time, it seems. And yeah, but Top Gun Maverick does take it for me. It's my favourite blockbuster of recent time. And yeah, thanks again. All the best.
Hello there, everybody, and subscribers of Jack from Bring Your Own Popcorn. I just want to say a huge thanks, Jack, for letting me be part of this video. Now, my favourite blockbuster movie has got to be Terminator 2. It's a film I've watched constantly throughout my life. When I first watched this film at about 8 years old, that is the moment where I knew I loved movies. I'd only really watched Disney films and stuff before that, and a whole new world opened to me because I had not seen anything like this in my life. James Cameron is an absolute master of a director. I like virtually all his films. Still not seen Piranha 2 yet, but I've seen the rest. And for me, this is his best one. Now, why I think this is a great blockbuster movie, it's just got a little bit of everything in there. I mean, it's the best action movie ever made, and blockbusters tend to have a lot of action in them, but I love the chase scene here when we get out the Skynet building and stuff. Probably my favourite part of the movie, James Cameron actually filmed someone driving a helicopter through a tunnel. Now, that is dedication there. No CGI or anything, just get in this helicopter and drive her through this tunnel for me. We got the main blockbuster action star in Arnold Schwarzenegger here. It was absolutely brilliant in this film as a villain in the first movie turned hero. And that's what I like about what James Cameron does with this sequel. He turns everything on its head. Even the villain, the T-1000, who was one of the best movie villains of all time, he could have went with a really bulking, bigger Terminator, and he went the total opposite way to this real slim guy who sort of looks around like a cat and stuff, and it just totally works. So for me, Terminator 2 is something I can just watch all the time. It's one of my most rewatched movies ever, and I have a lot of fun with it. And I don't really know anyone who doesn't really like Terminator 2. A little bit of emotion at the end as well. Great characters. Linda Hamilton is probably my favourite female protagonist of all time. And this movie just confirms why. She's an absolute badass in this film. The real standout character of this movie for me. So Terminator 2 is my answer, Jack. And I look forward to seeing everyone else's entries. Thanks once again for letting me be part of this video, mate. And good luck with the rest of your channel.
Hello Jack, hello everyone. First off, thank you for letting me be a part of this video. It's always an honour. And you're such a top guy. It was just a privilege to get an invite to come and be on the Bring Your Own Popcorn channel again, even for a little bit. Yeah, my favourite blockbuster of all time. This is going to come as absolutely no shock to anyone. Because there's a lot of great blockbusters. I'd say some honourable mentions for me would probably be Jurassic Park, Jaws, maybe 2001 if you count it, because back in the 60s, I guess that was probably as close to a blockbuster as they were getting. But for me, it's George Lucas's original Star Wars. That film changed cinema more than any other film has. It introduced people to this whole new wave of cinema experiences through the special effects, and the genre of sci-fi just become this huge thing then. Because of this movie, every franchise was doing it. Even Bond took Bond to space. It was crazy how big this film was, how influential. You know, as I say, the things it influenced, like Bond and so many other big franchises. And not only that, but, you know, it spawned so many other great movies in that series. You know, with Empire being its sequel, and then even going into the prequels. I love the prequels. I grew up with them. They're my Star Wars films. And even today, Star Wars is still going really strong with things like Andor, and even the animated stuff, which I absolutely love, like Clone Wars and Rebels. I think Star Wars is probably the most important film of all time, and for me, it's my favourite, and my favourite blockbuster. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for having me on the channel, mate, and I'll catch you soon.
So thank you to AJ's Movie Place, Walter Robinson, Movie Worm and Movie Bug for their amazing contributions to the video right there. And now let's talk about another one of my favourite blockbusters, which is Casino Royale. If you didn't know, I'm an incredibly big James Bond fan. I'm currently rewatching them all. This is actually the next one I need to watch in my rewatch of the films. And then I'm going to rank them all on the channel because I'm such a huge Bond fan. But Casino Royale is my favourite Bond film. I absolutely love everything that this film does, from reinventing the Bond franchise to give it this much more gritty and realistic tone, to Daniel Craig's insane lead performance. He is so good in this movie. He gives his best performance as Bond, in my opinion. Everything about this film is just fantastic. The way it's shot by Martin Campbell is just insane. He has directed the two best Bond films, GoldenEye and then Casino Royale. He's just an absolutely insane director, and it's very obvious that he gets the Bond character. The way every scene is shot is just insane. Like, it's actually crazy that this film manages to make something as mundane as poker be this thrilling adventure. It's a sight to behold, quite honestly. And the action is fantastic. From that opening 15-20 minutes when Bond's chasing down this guy through this kind of workyard. Absolutely incredible. To the ending of the film in this sinking house, it is just some of the best action ever put to screen, in my opinion. So another one of my favourite blockbusters right here, Casino Royale. And now, let's hear from some more people.
BYOP, bring your own popcorn. Congratulations, Jack, on your 100th episode. I remember when we had our 100th episode about 2-3 years ago, and it felt like a great milestone until the next and then the next. So we're wishing you all the luck in your YouTube channel. Keep continuing to grow. J-Mac, what's your favourite popcorn films?
I've got one that is a go-to, and it might surprise you, because you know I'm a bit of a fucking geek when it comes to films, and I like things that other folk don't like. You know, it's like, oh, I love it, but I understand why people don't. Nah, Independence Day, man. It's the best popcorn film you're ever going to have. You've got aliens. You've got Will Smith when he was likable. You've got rousing speeches that are so
Really,
ridiculous.
Bob, not in that as well.
No, that's Armageddon you're thinking about. Fucking moving on. But today we celebrate our Independence Day. And then you've got that overly enthusiastic extra that's like... And all that stuff just adds to the charm of a film that is so fucking ridiculous that it's phenomenal. And I sing its praises until America has to save the world. Which is going to happen because America always saves the fucking world, innit? That's what the movies tell us anyway.
I love films like E.T. I mean, there's The Godfather. We got the Blair Witch Project, Halloween, the original Halloween. The Goonies. Does Goonies count as a popcorn film?
Fuck aye.
Goonies, never say die. I mean, these are the films that shaped our childhood, so they're our best popcorn films. The Exorcist being what it was, groundbreaking. Jaws.
Never-ending story.
Is that a popcorn film? Is that an actual popcorn film?
100%. 100%, man.
The original Batman.
Yeah, are you talking 60s Batman or are you talking Michael Keaton Batman? Like this Batman?
Michael Keaton Batman. We got the Pulp Fiction.
There was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. Do 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 do. Gotta give you that one.
Nightmare on Elm Street. The actual nightmares of our childhood. Kill Bill. I mean, that was the first time we were exposed to some mad slasher, blood spurting everywhere. It was beautiful. Viva Vendetta, one of those films that just begs the question. Yeah.
You know, he put that ring on earlier on for our show that we pre-recorded, and I never even noticed that's what it was. I didn't even notice.
Who could forget
subliminal messaging?
Films like The Matrix. There's Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rocky itself.
Rocky 4. Rocky 4 is the popcorn one, man. Come on. I think you and I debate about if Rocky 3 is good or not. Rocky 3.
It's great. I love it.
It's pretty bish.
No, it's not. Hey, one of the greatest films of all time. Ever. Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Fucking... There's just no...
Hey, what's the matter? Some little filly break your heart? No, it was a girl.
The Shining. Here's Johnny.
There's so many, man. But
it's a tough ask.
That's the key to a popcorn film, is something you can just chill into. You don't need to think about it too much. You just sit down, you eat your popcorn, you laugh, you smile, you cry. Titanic's Gremlins. A great cop porn. Cop porn's a different thing. Not really into it. Tried it once, but that's a different story. But there's so many out there, man, and your reviews of them so far have been phenomenal. You're doing well, kid, and just keep going, and we'll give you another one of these for the 200th episode. You might still need to ask us 50 times, and we might keep forgetting, but we'll come through in the end for you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the channel, thanks for the entertainment, and keep on going.
Enjoy.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Walter, also known as Loopy on YouTube and Twitch, if anybody still remembers. So Jack from Bring Your Own Popcorn has invited me on to talk to you a bit about my favourite film, which is the 2011 film Drive, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. I think what appeals to me the most about it is how it blends genres. I would describe it as maybe 50% crime, 50% romance, and it works really well in the film's favour. It follows the story of a nameless protagonist played by Ryan Gosling and the relationship that develops between him and a character called Irene, who's played by Carey Mulligan. There's a lot of lovey-dovey stuff that develops there, and I think the time that they invest into developing that relationship really helps elevate the stakes later on when the, mafia crime plot starts to take hold. There's other films out there where you'll have, the main protagonist and their love interest, but I think the time that they spend developing the dynamic in this movie really contributes to elevating the stakes much higher when the crime plot kicks in and you have the mafia people threatening Irene's life and that kind of thing. On the technical side as well, there's a lot going on. I mean, the direction is really good. There's a lot of shots in the movie that just through framing and lighting could be desktop wallpapers that have been desktop wallpapers in the past for me, actually. So yeah, in terms of visual stuff going on, a lot there. The practical effects as well, I mean, you just need to see Christina Hendricks getting her head blown off. Nothing else to say. Beautifully done. Well executed. Pun intended. Before I go, I just want to say a massive congratulations to Jack for reaching 100 videos on his channel. Jack actually started YouTube after I did, and now has double the amount of subscribers, so good for him. I'm not bitter about it or anything. For real though, Jack is someone who puts a lot of effort into the content that he makes, and he's always looking for new stuff to do, new ideas. He's invited me on a few times for streams and that kind of thing, and he's terribly consistent as well, is one thing I can say, which is something that I could do with. So yeah, you deserve every bit of success that's coming your way, and here's to 100 more.
So it's after 3 in the morning, and having realised I had to do this and I'm going to be away the whole weekend, I've scrambled out of bed to put something together, so hopefully this will be appropriate. So Mr. Jack, Bring Your Own Popcorn, has reached 100 videos, and for some reason he asked for my opinions, so I'm gonna give him. He's asked for my favorite blockbuster film of all time, or favorite movie you'd watch whilst eating popcorn kind of thing is how he described it. So I'm gonna do that. And I've got with me Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is a really special movie to me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people too, but specifically for me. First of all, it's got the all-important nostalgia factor for me. Me and my dad used to watch Jurassic Park whenever it was on TV, because we didn't have the DVD or anything for it. So if it was on TV, we'd always catch it. It was the same thing with Indiana Jones. We watched all those movies all the time as well. And Ghostbusters too, but Jurassic Park was my favorite of the bunch, I think, because it was such a cool movie. The first time I watched it, there were some stuff in there I'd never seen before. The scene where the lawyer gets eaten while he's in the toilet, that's stuck in my memory since I was 6. The great characters like Dennis Nedry, for example, who's just a really fun side antagonist played by Wayne Knight. And his death scene was one that I always loved as a kid, as well as one of my favorite scenes I always kind of looked forward to whenever we watched it, because it was kind of silly. From a visual standpoint, it still really holds up to this day. I saw it when it re-released in cinemas a few months back, and I think it still looks, fantastic. The practical effects still really hold up. It's a great argument to be made for, still using practical effects to this day, because that's from 1993 and still looks that good today. Iconic shots too. The T-Rex with the torch in his eye, looking for a window. And my favorite one, the raptor with the amino acids projected onto its face, I think is so iconic. And whenever I think what's a cool movie shot, I always think of that one. It's such an influential film for me and a lot of other people. It really got me inspired. But there's a few other choices I had. Indiana Jones, for example. I was also going to talk about Alien, which is something I really got into as a kid. It freaked me out first, but it got me into cinema. Also, Lord of the Rings. I'm going quickly. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I watched these for the first time last year. Fantastic. Return of the King's the best one. Kill Bill. I don't have on me, but also a fantastic movie. Thank you for having me on, Jack. Congrats on 100 videos, and here's to the next 100.
Hi, Jack's dad here, and Jack has kindly invited his dad to introduce his favourite Blockbuster movie. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to congratulate him on 100 videos. Bring Your Own Popcorn was born during a period in lockdown where kids were struggling with mental health and being stuck in the house and stuff, and Jack had this idea of creating a channel. He stuck with it. He's at 100 videos. Thanks to everybody that's stuck around, subscribed. And it's been great, and it's good to see. And here's to the next 100 videos. So without further ado, my favourite Blockbuster movie, which I've got here, which I took off Jack's shelf. I might get a row for that because now the alphabetical organisation's all to pot, and I'll put it back under a different letter just for a laugh. My favourite Blockbuster movie is Jaws. There's a simple reason for that, and that is that I can remember the first time I saw this movie, and I actually googled it, and it wasn't at the cinema, it was at my mum and dad's house. My grandparents were there, my mum and dad was there, and it was 1981, which I'm not good at math, but roughly that would make me 7 years old. And the thing that sticks in my mind with this movie was the jump scare. Now, I don't want to ruin it for anyone that's not seen the film, but that jump scare was just something else, and it taught me almost like the power of movies. How could something on your TV screen have that power over you and make you jump out your skin? Everybody in that room at that jump scare, and anyone that's seen the movie will know the jump scare. How could something on your TV screen just have that amazing effect on you? And I think, from memory, that was what sort of got me interested in movies, and I wanted to see more and explore Steven Spielberg and all the other movies that he'd made, and then there was Star Wars and that. But this movie here was original. Have I got the right way up? The original movie for me, the first time I can remember getting into movies. So I'm going to keep it short. That's my favourite movie. If you look, even if you look into the history of the movie and the making of the movie, most of it was filmed in a swimming pool. Yeah, it's a rubber shark. Yeah, the effects are piss poor, but it got you. And to this day, someone asks me, what's your favourite movie? Jaws. Jaws every time. My absolute favourite movie. Take your CGI, take your special effects, take all that pish. Jaws was the original. They did it first. For me. So, that's me. All the best, Jack. Here's to the next 100 videos. You're doing great. Thanks to all the subscribers. And without further ado, goodbye.
Thank you to Jibber Jabber Podcast, Lupe, Fergus Clark and my dad, and I'll give you a little sneak peek about what's to come in the channel. You might be seeing a lot more of Fergus Clark. Just saying, just throwing that out there. A little sneak preview on what's to come in the channel. I won't say too much, but you'll be seeing a lot more of him. But thank you guys so much for your contributions. Thank you to everyone. I'll do a big thank you at the end of the video, but thank you to everyone for your amazing contributions to the video. You have been absolutely excellent. Without you guys, there wouldn't be a video, so thank you so much. And now let's talk about my favourite blockbuster of all time. I wanted to pick a definitive favourite, and I've kind of cheated. I've cheated a little bit. I've picked a trilogy of movies, and that is the original Star Wars trilogy. These films are so special to me. I absolutely adore them with all my heart. If I were to rank them worst to best, I would probably go episode 6, episode 4, episode 5. But they are all pretty much 10 out of 10 movies from me. I absolutely adore them. I think that everything George Lucas created here is just insane. The world building from the off is just absolutely magnificent. The direction by all three directors, that's George Lucas, Irvin Kershner, I think I'm saying that right, and Richard Marquand, are all unique yet all Star Wars. They all feel the same but different, and it's just every one of them directs their films superbly. And in terms of storytelling, it's some of the best storytelling ever put to screen, in my opinion. It probably is the best storytelling ever put to screen. The way the story progresses from episode 4 all the way through to episode 6, I just think is absolutely brilliant and some of the best writing ever. Everything about the original Star Wars trilogy I absolutely adore. I truly love these films with all my heart, and they are my favourite blockbusters of all time. So thank you to everyone that contributed to this video. It really means a lot. Down in the description, there will be links to everybody's channels, everybody's socials, whatever people want me to put there, they're down in the description below. Thank you guys so much. As I said, without you guys, this video wouldn't have been able to have happened. So thank you so much. And also thank you for the kind words that a lot of people said about me in the channel, on their videos. It really means a lot to hear all these nice things being said about me. So thank you so much. So that's it from me today, guys. Please let me know down in the comments what your favourite blockbuster is and tell me why. I love to read your comments and I try and respond to every single one of them. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for the support on the channel. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.